Hey everyone, it's Cass on Transform Your Life, and I am here to help everyone come into balance, to heal from mental, emotional, and physical dis-ease. And one of the ways we do this, one of the steps we have to take is working to see the people around us clearly for who they are and what they are doing. And so it's really important to understand covert aggressive narcissism. Okay, this is narcissism that's gone under the radar, that's gone undetected in many different ways. And when you can start seeing the people around you clearly, that's when you're going to be able to break away, hold them accountable, hold yourself accountable for your own healing, right? Love yourself enough to get away from people who are harming you once you realize what they're actually doing. Because what I have been noticing collectively is that most people do not know that the people around them, and right now I'm hearing their parents and other family members, are covert aggressively, intentionally harming them, okay? And this is how we stay in states of mental, emotional, and physical dis-ease. And there's so many different forms of this manipulation and so many different ways it shows up in the world. And what I was instructed and encouraged to do in this video is talk about some signs that one can start to notice in their parents, okay? One can start to notice in their parents, to see their parents clearly for who their parents are. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start pulverizing and shattering this traditional psychology framework where we have been repeating for so many years that people just aren't aware enough, and people just, it's beyond their comprehension. They don't have the ability to do something. They don't have the capability to change. I've been in so many therapy sessions where mental health therapists and counselors told me that my parents or people of my parents' generation don't have the capacity, they don't have the capability to understand or see what they're doing, okay? This is bullshit. This is total bullshit. People do have the capability to see what they're doing. I don't care what generation you are. I don't care what cultural setup you were born into, okay? Traditional psychology, I'm here to tell everyone that traditional psychology is responsible for the deaths, the destruction, the disease of so many people, and I'm here to shed light on that passionately, unapologetically, okay? Because the traditional psychology lens is far removed from clarity, from reality. It is unevolved, okay? We need to evolve as a human race, as a human species, and we need to start holding people accountable and realize how we've been indoctrinated with a traditional psychology framework that the people around us, are not capable of seeing, right? They don't see what they're doing. They don't see how they're impacting you. And I'm here to tell you, yes, they do. Most of the time, most people are very aware of what they are doing. And if they are showing up in the world on a conscious level, right? I'm talking about the conscious aspects of ourselves. And covert aggressive manipulation functions as that. It's a manipulative tactic. When you're talking about manipulative tactics, okay, that is done consciously. It's a strategy. People cannot create and employ a tactic and a strategy if not done consciously, okay? And lately, I have been observing and listening to a lot of people describe their interactions with their parents, and I notice that these people are heavily trauma bonded, okay? And I used to be in this position myself, so I totally have compassion and understanding for people who are in the midst of this trauma bond, okay? And there's many different kinds of trauma bonds, okay? And some people are trauma bonded and indoctrinated to greater degrees, right? Greater levels of severity. So this can take time for you to come out of this indoctrination, this manipulation that's been happening to you ever since you were a child. And I want to help people do that. And the first thing that we need to develop within ourselves is bravery, right? Bravery and courage to see the people we love with clarity, okay? And this takes time because the brain functions to protect us. And so you're going to, as you go on this journey, if you're doing the work, your parents and loved ones will be revealed to you in layers as you do the work to understand covert aggressive manipulation. Okay? I'm gonna pause for a moment for those of you who are new to my channel. I am an intuitive medium. I am being guided and led by my spiritual team, and I am led as to what to share and say in my videos. So I'm gonna pause and tune in to see what they want me to share next. So I'm being guided to give some clear-cut examples, indicators, signs that you are in the midst, you are on the receiving end. I was going to say you are in the midst of a trauma bond, but what I want to say is you are on the receiving end of being abused through covert aggressive tactics that have gone under the radar, that neither you yourself or others have been able to detect or put their finger on, because the people around you are so manipulative and evil. Okay, I need to be honest with you. Evil. This takes an evil person to be involved in inflicting covert aggressive tactics onto you, to keep you in imprisonment, to keep you in a state of confusion where you are not able to escape what is going on, because these people are preying upon your conscientiousness, okay? They are preying upon the fact that you give people the benefit of the doubt, that you see the best in your parents and family members around you. And so they prey upon that aspect of your character, okay? So I'm being guided to share. If you have young children around you, because children can see to the core of people. They can see through people. They have not been on the receiving end of the manipulation as long as other people have who are older, right? So if you hear children around you expressing, I feel like I'm in a prison, or they are expressing to the parents around them, how long are we gonna be in this prison with mommy or daddy? I'm getting the chills saying this. Listen to the children, the younger children in the family, and watch how your parents or the parents of this child respond. The next sign is that when you are expressing, okay, that goes along with what I just mentioned, that something bad is happening to whatever level of severity. You go to your parents, you go to your family members, and you are expressing what's going on, and they totally dismiss you. They do not have any regard for your well-being, for the fact that you are expressing that bad things are happening to you, or you know that something's not right, and everyone around you completely dismisses or rationalizes and justifies what is happening, what you are expressing. Okay, this is a sign that you are experiencing covert aggressive manipulation to keep you in a state of imprisonment, okay? I'm being told to share, if you constantly are losing your train of thought, you're losing your train of thought, okay? You're blanking out is the way my spirit team is telling me to describe this to you. You are going into a blank, what I'm being told to describe as a blank state in your mind. Okay, this is a sign that you are dissociating a lot. You are dissociating to survive what is going on around you. If you try to read off of a page, right? You're not listening to an audio, but you're trying to read a book or a magazine, and you find yourself having to read the same thing over and over and over again because you're not following it, and you're like, whoa, I just read a whole paragraph and I don't even know what I just read. This is a sign that you are dissociating. If you have to read something, or even if you are listening to an audiobook, or you're watching a movie, okay? This happened to me a lot as a child. I would try to watch a movie or read a book, and I would have to rewind the movie over and over and over again. I would read the same line over and over and over again because I kept checking out of the present moment for my own survival. I'm being told to say, you see things that aren't there. You're seeing things that aren't there. So if any of you have a diagnosis of schizophrenia, if any of you have been diagnosed, you have gone in and worked with a therapist, and you have discussed and been diagnosed as someone who is seeing things that aren't there, this is a sign, okay, that the abuse has gotten so incredibly bad that you are experiencing delusions and hallucinations where you are seeing things that are not there, okay? Those of you who have gone to work work with mental health professionals and they have gone over this with you and you have expressed that you believe that this is happening, you're seeing things that are not there, is how I'm being told to phrase this, then you know what I'm talking about, right? This is a sign that you are going through extreme forms of narcissistic, covert, aggressive abuse. Now, this can be combined with extreme, overt, obvious forms of abuse, right? Where I'm being guided to say there's incest going on in the family, right? That is an extreme, obvious form of abuse. But when you go to the people around you, they covert, aggressively deny you, dismiss you. Tell you that they don't believe you. Tell you that this isn't happening to you. Right? If another thing I'm being told is that if you are undergoing any form of abuse where you're telling the abuser to stop, if you are crying, even if you're not saying stop, but there's witnesses in another room that can hear what's going on, and they don't intervene till later. They don't intervene until hours later, until if your parent comes in later and says, I can't handle that you're crying, you're making my child or daughter cry, I can't listen to it anymore. That parent is a part of the abuse. That parent is intentionally waiting for hours to come in and intervene and interrupt and act like they're a good parent. This is how powerful the trauma bond is, that a child, even a grown adult who is a child of their parent, right? I'm having a hard time putting this in words because it's really hard to talk about. So even if you are an adult who is still trauma bonded to their parent, as an adult, right? Well into your 40s and 50s, and you are still undergoing extreme forms of abuse, and your parent is a witness, right? Your parent is a witness. Then one of the signs that your parent is involved in continuing to harm you intentionally and prey upon you to keep you in a state of imprisonment and be a part of a network of people who are harming you is they will not step in right away when they are a witness to abuse happening to you. If they are in the same household as you, and they hear you crying, and they hear you saying stop, or they know something's not right, but you notice that they didn't intervene for a long time, that parent is doing that intentionally, okay? Now, I know this is really hard. This is going to be really hard for people to face, okay? So the sign is there's a delay in the intervention. I hope you guys followed what I was saying. I was having a hard time with my words for a moment. There is a delay in the intervention. If you hear yourself saying, This is beyond my parents' comprehension. I just don't understand. They just don't understand. Excuse me. I've gotten to the point where I'm just gonna forgive them because they didn't know what they were doing, or they didn't realize the harm they were causing. These are signs that you are in the midst of a trauma bond, because the reality is that traditional psychology is outdated. It's not accurate. It's far from accurate. It's not even close to accurate when it comes to the conscious aspects of human beings. When you're looking at covert aggressive tactics and the way people are showing up covert aggressively, traditional psychology has lumped those patterns of behavior under in the bracket of someone who is showing up unconsciously, that they are unaware of what they're doing. And what I learned from George Simon is that it's not that they're not aware enough, it's that they don't care enough. And I want to add to what he said. Not only do they not care enough, but they are intentionally harming you to keep you in a state of imprisonment. And in some cases, depending on how sadistic your parents are, they're doing it to get you to end your life. Because they chose the dark side and they can see light. They can see light and truth and the divine in you, and so they want to take you out. This is what I am being guided to share today. Thank you to everyone who watched to the end, and I will continue in the next video.